Hello everyone, this is Todd with Nytality again. Today I'd like to talk about the food ladder and how to use it that's in my book, Aw Food, Why Do You Trouble Me So Much? So in essence, the food ladder was my attempt to make something that I could use every time I ate in order to make a permanent change to my health, diet, and weight. I wanted something that would reprogram my thinking processes, uncover old programs that worked against me, that began to knock out emotional eating, and that woke me up to what I was doing while I ate. I was really looking for a way to make eating a conscious and chosen activity rather than an unconscious and compulsive one. I had tried every diet under the sun and wasn't getting what I needed or the results I was looking for, and had begun to get really frustrated. I'd watched the people I knew in my life and my clients yo-yoing through diets for years to the detriment of their health. So this really became an important mission for me. The food ladder has served me well to change a lot of these things. I think of it as a ladder to lead you up and out of unconscious action with food, diet, and eating in order to control your emotions. I also made it to be an educational process to help build a healthier diet. So there are components in the ladder to help rebuild your thoughts on diet elements and use them better for yourself. I also wanted this method to work well with other diets out there, and so I think of this method as a meta diet, almost a diet about diets. This diet process also is essential in rebuilding my health from some intense infection problems and some old chronic illnesses, and it honestly helped save my life. I had a pretty intense battle with a number of infections. Some I got from surgery, some were parasite infections, I had Lyme, Bartonella, Rickettsia, and a few other things with weird names. And this diet process, along with the rest of the Nytality method, helped me to get through it. It's where all that method came from in a lot of ways. And I also had some great help from some amazing doctors, one in particular. So to me, it's extremely valuable for many aspects of life. I used it to go from at least something like 254 pounds. And I say at least because at some point I just got too embarrassed to keep checking. I know I was bigger than 254 at some point, but I used it to go all the way down to around 190. The food ladder is a major portion of the book, but there's a lot more useful information and methods to use in it. And I tried to write it in a friendly, uplifting way. At no point will I yell at you or attack you. I'm not a fan of the insult you to motivate you ethic. I don't think it works in a sustainable, long-term way, and it often makes you feel bad about yourself, which leads to emotional eating so that you can get a chemistry high and feel a little better. So instead, maybe we could work to build each other up, find some self-appreciation, and make a real deep change long-term. Well, anyway, that's what works for me. So this ladder is built on the principles of the Nytality method itself, and so it builds into many other avenues of developing your health and a healthy life. And so here's how I used it and now use it. At first I carried around a handwritten list of the steps and read them to myself just to get familiar with them, and putting particular emphasis on the first step, to really think about it and to try to really feel it. And that first step is you say to yourself, I eat to nourish myself and my life. So I really started hard with that step. But ultimately, we are trying to reprogram our mind through continuous recalling of the steps and the principles embedded in each of those steps. So this needs to be done routinely, but doesn't need to be difficult or an added struggle for you. Remember, try to play with each step. Make it a little bit fun, make it an exploration, a little bit of an adventure if you can. The steps don't need to be done in order. You can make any of them work, and you can work them together or alone. Just find some way to make them work right now. And if you can't find some way to make them work, just go through them so they're in your mind, and they start to work like seeds to sprout in your thinking processes and the way you do things. I like the ladder because it makes it easy to remember over time, and then later I can connect a lot more to it. But ultimately, in this method, it's more of a convenience than it is any kind of necessity to go in steps of the ladder. Really, only a few of the methods, particularly the vitality and meditation methods in the Nytality system, where it's actually crucial to go through the steps in order. But we'll talk about those more later on. So at the beginning, I would just get in my body with my awareness. I would sit up straight, take a few deep breaths, really feel my body, relax, and be here and now. And then I would walk mentally through the steps. Over time, really just a few weeks, food started to look differently to me. My appetite began to change, not radically, but definitely in a noticeable way. I began to really see and feel when I was eating to fill in an emotional reason, like loneliness, or when I was eating to handle the pain I was in. It changed how my awareness of myself, my emotions, and my mind all influenced my diet. I was amazed at how little my appetite actually came directly from my body, although I really began to see how much my emotions could drive my appetite and how much my thinking process could as well. For example, oh, it's dinner time, so it's time to eat. Do you actually ask yourself, are you actually physically hungry? Or maybe, she broke up with me, so it's time to eat ice cream to deal with how I feel. And maybe that worked for a little while, but it's quite a trap for your long-term health. Or I'm bored, let's see what's in the fridge. That's not so useful either, but maybe you're getting the point. And as you do more of this, you might trip over a lot of these things that you do yourself and in your own ways. So after you do this for a while, the steps begin to do you. Your behavior can begin to change, at least mine did, on a level below my conscious, easily noticeable level. It all began to take on a life of its own because it uprooted so much of the old programming and began to install a new, more useful and more life-affirming program. This brought me over time more and more of what I wanted and needed, and really made a huge difference in my life. And this is what I am deeply passionate about sharing with you. And this is what the Nytality method itself is for, is to share what I've put together. And this food ladder method is how I apply a lot of it to your diet, and then use that as a stepping stone to improve your life experience and your overall life itself. So I have some big goals with this for you and for me. I have a lot I'd like to share, and these food methods are just the beginning, but they can really make a nice change for you, both in helping your weight goals or building your health or recovering from terrible illnesses or all kinds of health problems. So I hope this helps and gives you some tools to use. I have a lot more coming, so please subscribe, maybe drop a like, say hi below. I'd enjoy getting to hear from you. So this has been Todd. Stay vital, my friends. We'll see you soon. Bye-bye.